اختتمت منظمة الإيقاد بعد ظهر اليوم بالخرطوم اجتماعها الوزاري الأخير حول التأسيس لحرية حركة الماشي والرعاه بين أقطار المجموعة. وأمل المشاركون على أهمية الوصول لاتفاق ييسر حركة الرعاه الذين يمثلون قطاعا أساسيا في دول المنطقة يتجاوز 60% من الأنشطة السكانية فيها. وأوضح المشاركون أن الوصول إلى البروتوكول لا يعني سلب الدول الأعضاء حق ممارسة السيادة وحماية قطيعها القومي، بل عكس ذلك تماما، فإن مثل هذه البروتوكولات تيسر التنسيق للقضاء على الأوبئة والأمراض، وبالتالي تساعد في تعزيز وتكثير القطيع القومي، مما ينعكس إيجابا على حياة الناس والاقتصاد وبالتالي على الدخل القومي فيها. وأشار المتحدثون بأن هذه المنطقة تضم أكثر من 25% من الثروة الحيوانية في القارة الإفريقية كلها، وأنها الجزء الوحيد في القارة والعالم الذي يكتفي من اللحوم المنتجة محليا، وأنه آن الأوان للتنسيق بغرض الاكتفاء الذاتي من المنتجات الحيوانية الأخرى كلها. وأشار المتحدثون إلى أن ذلك لا يتأتى إلا بالتنسيق والتعاون، وهو الأمر الذي يكفله البروتوكول المزمع المصادقة عليه. يشار إلى أن الاجتماع سيرفع البروتوكول للمجلس الوزاري لدول الإيقاد ومن ثم للدول الأعضاء للمصادقة عليه وتفعيله. ويشار أيضا إلى أن الخبراء الإيقاد قد فرغوا للتو من المصادقة على البروتوكول الحركة الحرة للمواطنين، وذلك عقب 4 أيام من مداولات بدأت في 24 من فبراير الجاري وانتهت في اليوم 27 منه بالخرطوم.
Represented heavily by the leader of the delegation, His Excellency the Ambassador Hadian O'Hara, and we have worked very closely with the International Organization for Migration on issues of migration and mobility in this region. They have been key partners. Currently, we are having discussions on data tracking metrics in the region for pastoral communities, and therefore we are acknowledging the presence of Her Excellency Maureen Chen from the IGAD, from the International Organization for Migration, the UN Agency for Migration, in Addis Ababa.
May I take this opportunity to welcome you all to this meeting on Transmans in the IGAD region. It's my privilege to acknowledge the presence of our ES, Dr. Wokne Gebeo Negewo, Her Excellency Maureen Cheng, His Excellency O'Hara, and all our excellencies, the ambassadors of IGAD member states, and to you all very, very distinguished delegates. On behalf of the IGAD family and the Transhumance Secretariat, may I take this opportunity to welcome you all to this meeting to review the 4 outstanding articles of the IGAD Transhumance. As you are aware, the Transhumance Protocol has about 32 articles, and out of all those, there were 4 that we agreed would all go and consider and come back to review them.
Let me begin sincerely appreciating the Republic of Sudan and His Excellency Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok for hosting us at this crucial meeting to finalize the IGAD Protocol of Transhumance. Yesterday, we were delighted to catch a glimpse of the rich cultural heritage of the people of Sudan, as we were treated with the most pleasant food, magnificent music, and fascinating dance. Thank you to the Republic of Sudan. As I welcome you all to this very important meeting to finalize and endorse the IGAD Protocol in Transhumance, I would like to bring it to your attention that livestock is a common denominator in the lives of the 250 million citizens of the IGAD region. Animals play a major economic, social, and cultural role in our existence. They contribute 57% of agricultural gross domestic products and support 70% of our people in terms of livelihood, wealth, and health. According to our own estimates, the IGAD region has 250 million head livestock, and we are proud to be the only region in Africa that is self-sufficient in terms of meat requirements. With the right policies and practices, we can also achieve the same status in the production of other food products from animals such as milk and egg.
I really hope we can crown the week today with the endorsement of the protocol on transhumans. It's a measure, of course, of just how complex the issue is that 4 of the articles still need to be formalised formally today. In Europe, transhumance has traditionally been about moving livestock from high ground in the summer to the lowlands in the winter. Here in this region, it's about people and livestock moving across land, often in corridors, in search of water and fodder. Again, in Europe, the transhumance event has often become a tourist attraction and in some place a pretext for a festival. In many instances here, though, it's simply a question of survival. Going back to Europe, transhumance in Europe tends to be in mountainous regions or in the Arctic north of Finland and Sweden. In my own country, Ireland, transhumance was a widespread in the 16th and 17th centuries. A farmer who engaged in transhumance was known as a fáinleog, and this translates into English as a wanderer. The fáinleog would take his dairy cattle up into the highlands, and they would stay there in huts called boolie houses. A boolie house had just one room, it had stone walls and heather on the roof. It had one door and one small window, and the fáinleog would spend the summer there with his cattle. Music, dancing, and storytelling were a feature of life in the boolie houses. But we do not have boolie houses or fáinleog wandering across Ireland anymore. They have disappeared. They disappeared in the 19th century, and this is now a loss that we cannot undo.
4 key reasons why we should be focusing on a regional governance framework that targets pastoralists whose livelihoods are based on natural resources, which in the context of arid and semi-arid lands will of necessity be limited. First is simply that this region has a significant population of pastoralists. Recent estimates put the number of pastoralists and agro-pastoralists worldwide at 120 million, of which 50 million reside in sub-Saharan Africa. When one considers that some 60% of the land in the Horn of Africa is arid and semi-arid, and with a pastoral population estimated at between 12 and 22 million people, the need for enhanced governance of pastoralism, especially in the context of climate change, is clear. Second, climate change and its impacts, such as the recurring Indian Ocean dipole and El Nino, brings more extreme weather, particularly droughts, putting pastoral areas and pastoralists in situations of perennial vulnerability. The African continent, and specifically the Horn of Africa and the Sahel regions, are particularly prone to the impacts of a changing climate whose manifestations include erratic rainfall, acute water scarcity, and drought. Diminishing pasture in regions inhabited by pastoral communities, which oftentimes transcend international borders, has the potential to result in conflict centered around the competition for pasture, water, grazing rights, unless there is a robust governance structure framework in place. Pastoralists will do what humans have always done since the dawn of time. They will move with the animals in the face of dwindling and oftentimes erratic availability of pastureland. For the same reason that migration is one of humankind's oldest poverty reduction strategies, the practice of transhumance is difficult to wish away. People who are compelled to move in search of pasture will move to where the pasture is available in order to keep their herds alive.